This, as you can see from the headstock, is a Blundell or Blundel bass guitar made by Mr. Blundell. But more about him shortly. Let's have a quick listen to some sound bites first. And starting with the bridge pickup. And now the centre position. And now on to the neck pickup. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so it's a bit of a mystery, this one. Plays great, sounds great, constructed to the absolutely highest standards using the finest components and materials until I got on with it. So when I did get on, this belongs to a friend of mine who used to use it in a band, and it suffered some kind of headstock break-ish. And there was loads and loads of bits missing, which he says are in a bag somewhere. So let's see what we've got. Well, these are not the original tuning machines. As you can see from the headstock there is a serial number which tells you, I think, number 18. Now, I do know of a number 81. So we do know that there were at least 81 Blundell guitars made. And they were made in or around Manchester in the possibly late 70s, but certainly very early 80s. And there's very, very little information out there about them. So if you do know anything about them, please let me know in the comments. We've got, I think, 1 million frets on there. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So you've got a 2-octave fretboard there. And certainly it is rosewood, and certainly the inlays are abalone. There was no nuts on it. There's a regular truss rod underneath the truss rod cover there, and that does work in both directions, because I don't know really how to set it on a bass, because of course the oscillation's bigger for the strings, and it's a bit hit and miss, really, just trial and error. I think it plays great though now. So as you can see, and this is really where it earns its keep, it's a neck-through construction. Maple and some, is it maple and mahogany, do we think? Maple and mahogany, that's what I'm going for. Looks like it to me. Maple and mahogany. So you can see on this side that there was this tuning peg was missing. So I've just got 4 replacement ones that look the same as the ones that were on. So you can see that split there, which I've pinned with wood glue and dowels. We've got a few of those in there. So it's nice and strong now. I'm happy about that. And all of the, well, the majority of the electrics were either missing or not working. So there was no bridge pickup. So I nicked a bit of Telecaster scratch plate and cut something that looks a bit like this. Is the original one here at the bottom. And these, so these pickups, I think they are a brand called Delano. They're the only other oval ones that I've ever seen, but they're really, if you look at them, they're very, very much like P-bass pickups, aren't they? They're stacked in the same way. And so with this one being up, it'll make these strings, the top 2 strings, sound that little bit warmer. This is a typical Gibson, or I'm saying Gibson, the same bridge that they use on the SG Gibson bass, which I think originally they're Goto items. This is a knockoff that was 17 quid. If you want the Goto one, it's 190 or something daft like that. Certainly, so two of the pots were knackered, so I've just replaced the whole loom. And like I say, this pickup was missing altogether, and not knowing what the string spacing was, I thought the safest thing to do was just go with rails. So we've gone with rails, and that is what happened there. I think that pickup was about a tenner to the door, something like that, nice and cheap, and nice and powerful too. They're both, I think that these pickups here, which I think, as I say, are Delano, they're popping out either late 10s or early 11s, something like that. And this one, cheapest chips one, that's popping out 9, which is pretty good. So we've got new, new to the guitar anyway. We've got new to the guitar volume and tone pots, and these are not the original knobs either, because they were weird 1980s things. We've got a new toggle switching as well. You'll note that there is a mini toggle here, and there was one next to it as well, which is clearly broken off. It did have at some point active circuitry in it, which wasn't there, so I've just left them in because otherwise it'll leave a hole. I suppose I could have put a couple of screws there, but really, what's the point? So it's the majority of the body looks to be a rather nice bird's eye maple to me. And so there were three, so Blundell guitars, he used to produce, from what I can gather, 3 main types of instrument. He used to do a Flying V, an Explorer, and a neck-through double cut, like this. And he also did a 6-string version of this. I'm saying he also did a 6-string version of this. I rather think that the 6-string version was the mainstream, and he also did a bass version of the neck-through double cut. So there was no cavity control plate for the back here, and so I've nicked a bit of old scratch plate to pop on there, and you'll see some holes in the scratch plate, and see if you can figure out what guitar it came from, the bit of scratch plate that I've nicked. Have a good look at that, see if you can guess what it is, and that'll be a bit of fun for us all. I'll let you know in the comments if you write in. And other than that, I think that the fret markers on the side, which I've had to polish up because you couldn't see them, you know, the dot inlays on the side, I'm pretty sure that they're brass. So Blundell guitars, this is serial number 18, so the 18th in his production run. So the luthier himself, Mr. Blundell, that's all, and I don't even know first name. From what I can gather from the tiny bit of information that there is out there, he was a luthier making Flying V, Explorer and double cut neck throughs in the 80s, only for a short period of time, and then I believe he went to teach luthiery in Edinburgh. So with all of that said, what I would say is, what a shame he's not still making guitars, because these are I will try and snap up any that I can see that come onto the marketplace, but there's only going to be, like I said, we do know about number 81, which appeared in roughly 1983. So I'm guessing that this will be, I don't know, what, a couple of years before that perhaps. So this obviously number 18 will be one of the, well, it's the 18th one, isn't it? So I hope that you enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed recommissioning this guitar. It's been great fun for me. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I shall look forward to seeing you all on the next one. Adios amigos, I'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Ta-ra.